Peace and love, everyone, and welcome back for another Sunday Hope and Healing session. I'm Royce Fletcher Thomason, and it's my pleasure to bring you all content that supports your well-being, that brings you support, encouragement, hope, actually brings healing so that you can have a bountifully blessed life in every aspect of your life. And so today, our show is how to age gracefully and have a body that cheats time. Can you dig it? Um, so we have actually, for today's show, we actually have a special guest who's present with us. And our guest today is really just an awesome human being. Uh, Someone that I serendipitously came to meet 20 something years ago. When I came across a on the billboard for a building that said, if I remember correctly, the healing power of touch. Um, and I just had to go into the place where I met our guest for today, Versandra Kennebrew, who is the proprietor of Optimal Living Education and Retreats. This lady is just, to me, a phenomenal human being. I'm not just saying this because she's on the show. She's on the show for the same reason I'm saying this. And so she is a person who engaged in a tremendous campaign to eliminate touch deprivation and she's truly a healer. She's done this a lot through myomassology or as a massage therapist. She's been a wellness consultant and coach. She was recognized. There was a resolution in honor of her by the state of Georgia. And I'll just kind of share with you a little bit of that. Whereas an integrative nutrition health coach and healing artist, Versandra Kennebrew has for the past multiple decades taught the art of touch to couples and holistic healthy enthusiasts. And whereas she's on a mission to significantly reduce touch deprivation, which is suffering from poor, loveless, or inadequate physical touch, and whereas she teaches touch techniques to enhance communication and intimacy, and whereas she is also passionate about and promotes the use of yoga, plant essences, and music to improve one's overall well-being, and whereas she enjoys igniting the next generation of leaders in the Atlanta area Toastmasters clubs, and whereas she is a poverty alleviation champion who served on the board of directors of Gateway Center, Atlanta's continuum of care for the homeless. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Senate that the members of this body recognize and commend Versandra Kennebrew for her efforts in improving the lives of others. Ashe and amen. And Versandra, welcome to the space today.
Peace and love, Royce. It's such a pleasure to be with you. It's always great to share your energy, whether we are online, live, or however that happens.
Ashe and amen to that. And so, one of the things, there were a few things that I shared, and I know that I will take the responsibility for that. We got started a little bit later than expected. But there were a lot of things, even in that a little bit of an introduction that I shared, that really don't give a full scope of who I know and have experienced you to be over the years. And the resolution, for instance, talked about what you've done as far as touch deprivation is concerned. There was mention of Toastmasters, but I mean, I've heard you speak at Transforming Love Community in Detroit, and I knew you in the space of massage and ear candling and doing different wellness based workshops and the author of 5 books,
5
as
books.
it is, and a person who has just been extremely passionate about giving from a genuine place within yourself, and even knowing that there were times where you were going through things that I had no idea about and that most people didn't, where you were just giving a tremendous amount in the midst of that, and nobody would have had an idea of the things and the life challenges that you had been through.
Yeah.
So I just want to really honor you and thank you for sharing this space with us today. And you're a bad sister. That's all I can say. In the words of Run DMC, not bad meaning bad, but bad meaning good.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So you've been at this for a while, wanting to help people be the best versions of themselves in one way or another, right?
Right.
You care to share anything at all about your journey as far as it relates to wellness and optimal living?
Yeah. I can tell you that I began this journey actually before you met me in 19, I think it was 85. I opened my very first aromatherapy shop. This was in Maryland, just outside of DC. And we had this beautiful little shop that had plant essences, essential oils, and just natural products inside of a mall while I was working in retail. And I was doing that as my little side hustle. But then after that, in 1999, it became clear to me that this would be my next career because my career prior was in retail management. My last job there was working 22 stores in 3 states, Maryland, DC, and Virginia. And so when I got this message, this spiritual message, it was, part of my spiritual journey. In fact, I learned that my hands were blessed and I needed to enhance what I already had naturally by literally going to school and understanding what's the science behind it all, because we know that many of us have special gifts. But when it comes down to sharing those gifts with the community, with the world, you want to have something behind that really supports it. So I attended Irene's Myomycology Institute in Southfield, Michigan. And that was during the time I was caring for my dad when he was diagnosed with cancer. And I felt like that could really benefit him, just as it had benefited my grandmother when I was growing up. And she would ask me to rub her back and her knees because she was dealing with so much pain in her body. And I learned about anatomy, physiology, pathology, and everything that makes up the human body and how it is impacted by dis-ease, by emotional instability, by the environment even. And then how the organs and systems in the body all work together to, deliver this human vessel that most people see, but they only see the outside. There's a lot going on in that inner side. And we know, you and I, and I'm sure a lot of your audience knows, that this body is merely a form of transportation. I call it an opportunity for locomotion and communication. That's what it serves as. And so I got to learn more deeply. And we actually met also due to a connection at Transforming Love Community. And so I put all that I learned about the body with what I learned about spirituality and everything else that came from Transforming Love Community. So this has been a lifelong journey, if you would ask me, because it began really, even before that. My grandmother had me working with her as a junior missionary. And we would go to church, to the hospitals, to people's homes. And it was a regular thing to sit bedside with people who were in pain and experiencing things in their lives. Some of them were in transition, maybe moving from this state of existence to another. And we would sing to them. We would read the word of God to them. And those are the things that I believe assisted those individuals in making those transitions, and some with recovering and feeling better. Right. So this has definitely been something that I've been growing with and exploring and enhancing. And I'm happy to be also an initiate in your program, the transcending the matrix. I'm saying it all. There's so many different things, but transcending the matrix and including that into this whole mix. I like to call myself a healing artist because I use various modalities and mix them based on what I am sensing the body is calling for, even what the spirit is calling for. So I listen intently, not just with these ears, my inner ear, and I try to give what that person that I'm working with is really needing at that time.
Right. And I can say that I've been able to bear witness to that. You know, you and I've shared this with you recently. I shared this with you. And it still blows my mind because this happened over 20 years ago.
Yes.
I think that this was in 2002 or 2003.
Right.
And there was a lady whose mother she wasn't conscious. I know she was at home. I don't know if she was like in home hospice or what the situation was, but she definitely seemed to be at end of life in the body temple. And you invited me to go with you as you were going to give this lady a massage. And that to me was my heart. I feel this warmth and this wonderful feeling in my heart even now as I think back to that, because this lady isn't conscious. She's not somebody who herself booked a massage because she wanted to clear some toxins out of her body or because she was feeling stiffness or soreness or anything like that. Her daughter booked the massage for her mother who wasn't even conscious. And I had never seen anything like that before nor since. And I know a lot of massage therapists, but the way as you were massaging her, I could see just so clearly all the love that you were pouring into this lady. And I was just, I continue to be blown away by that because I thought that was really, really powerful and really beautiful. And certainly I could see that there on some level, I don't know what happened with that lady or anything, but I know on some level there was something profoundly healing taking place in that moment. Yeah. And so, but you know, even beyond the massage and you have some other services that you've done.
Yes.
An experience I ever had in my was with you, and it was a whole experience. It was beyond just an ear candling. You know, it was a whole atmosphere that was set. You know, ended up doing some like massaging into my face, some peppermint oil, I think it was. It was a whole thing. But with respect to all of these things that you've been doing, from my perspective, you've been able to really certainly, and I don't need to get into it unless you want to. But I know that you've been through some difficult life situations. You've had some challenges. You've had some things that you face that most people probably wouldn't be able to endure, just to be quite frank. And yet in the midst of it, your light has continued to shine and you maintain this profound sense of vibrant life. And so, our kind of topic for today is how to age gracefully and have a body that keeps time, which is a little bit of a play on words. Saying time changed last night / this morning, and I didn't even know it. Aware that the time had changed, but this is something that's significant for you in terms of kind of a whole thing dealing with aging gracefully. And I mean, what my understanding of the definition of aging is really the DNA beginning to unravel, right, and there being deterioration in the body. But what is this thing dealing with aging gracefully that you'd like to talk about a little bit today?
Well, I really want to talk about the fact that, we know that we are spiritual beings having this human experience. But when you don't know that, you only know the human experience. And the human experience can guide you in a certain way to make you feel or even believe that your time is coming to an end long before it gets there. Sometimes it's because of our life experiences, things that we've seen with our family and friends, and we almost believe that it is true. One example would be me coming up. I believed just by watching my grandmother and other family members that by the time you get 50, you are on your way to death's door. That's what I believed based on what I saw. I saw everybody in my family that was 50 or over, they were on multiple medications. They were experiencing pain and things in their body. They were broken down, really. And you would think by just looking at their appearance that they were coming to the end of life. Now, here I was 18, 19 years old watching that. And I only had the question, is this just how it is? Does everybody get to this point and by 5-0 they're dying? These are the questions I had in my mind, and that's kind of what started me on this whole journey of holistic health and wellness, because the traditional healthcare system, it kind of supports that too, because it is not meant to prevent illness. It's just meant to manage sickness, disease, and provide surgeries or different things that will help a person who is acutely, hurt or sick or whatever, because say they had an accident, they broke a leg. Those are the type of things that this traditional healthcare system is meant to support people with. You're broken down and you need an immediate something, an injection of something to make you feel alive again, whether it's fixing anything or not. Right. It costs a lot of money, but it's something that they have to offer you. But then I recognized there was another way of looking at this whole thing, a preventive way, something that would allow you to add more years to your life and more life to your years.
Hold on a second. You got me up wanting to dance around on that. You said adding more years to your life and adding more life to your years.
Absolutely.
That's so powerful, because it's one thing you're talking about, like the Western medical model.
Right.
How it's kind of designed and how it's really set up. And part of that does include, in some ways, extending the amount of time you're on the planet.
Right.
But it may be that your life is extended being dependent on a whole bunch of stuff. And so people aren't really, the amount of time they're hanging out with their body might be extended some, but it's at a very low quality of life.
Absolutely.
So what you just said about, Can you say that again? Because that was juicy. I like that.
Yes, adding more years to your life and more life to your years.
I love that. I
Mhm.
love that. Sorry for interrupting. But go ahead.
It's all good. It's powerful, and which is why I kind of hold on to that thought. Recently I've had the opportunity to care for my dad again. Last 5 years, I've been helping him as his primary caregiver. He's 90 years old today.
Wow.
And when
Hello.
yes, well,
Wow.
I mean, meaning
Oh,
at this
gotcha.
present point, he'll turn 91 July 9th.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I'm anticipating that as well.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you that when we went to Detroit, my sister and I, because I was planning on going to the Peace Corps and doing some community health work over in another country. And I was going to spend 2 years just really learning a different culture and bringing my gifts and talents and resources to those communities that were underserved, much more underserved than anything we know here in the United States.
For sure.
But I had that as a passion. And my dad said to me, why do you have to go around the world helping people when I'm right here? And I thought to myself, wait a minute, my dad has never asked for help or even led me to believe he needed anything. So that was a cry for help to me. And so my sister and I, we both said, he's sounding, kind of off. We need to check on him. We got on a flight. This was right before the pandemic. We got on a flight and went to Detroit. And when we got there, we were literally blown away at his state and his condition. He had dropped so much weight. He was down to about 130 pounds. And this is a man, he's, 5'11", if he were able to stand tall, which he's not able to do so at this time. He literally leans forward. I mean, he just cannot stand erect due to 5 surgeries along his spine. He's got nuts and bolts and everything screwing together just to kind of hold him up. And, I have to say that the military is part of the cause of that because he is a veteran. And, I am, I'm grateful for his service to our country and most definitely his service to me. But I felt that it was my time to serve him as well, which I've done over the years whenever he was in need. But I just say that his health and well-being had depleted so much to, there were signs that he couldn't remember. He couldn't remember his birthday. He told me that he couldn't remember his children's birthday. His eldest daughter, he could not remember her birthday. The state of his home. I mean, he's a person keeps things immaculate. Everything's clean and neat and orderly all the time. We saw medicine bottles laying around and all kinds of things that let us know he was totally out of sorts. And I knew I had to get him to a doctor immediately. He wouldn't go to the hospital, so we took him into CVS to the little minute clinic, and they told him he needed to go immediately to the emergency room. Yeah. Make a long story short, we ended up packing him up and in 48 hours moved him to where I am today in Columbus, Georgia. And that began the 5-year journey of me supporting him during this, what I thought was going to be his life transitional period where he would go to this next realm. But it's been 5 years and he's still here. And I'm grateful that I have been able to utilize all these healing therapies and modalities to support him during this period. But I can also say that during this period of time, I learned more about not having life with your years. And that's the opposite of what we're talking about here, because yes, he's living longer and he's added 5 more years to his life, but the dementia that he is experiencing, and it's a visceral dementia, it's not just dementia related to your brain not functioning as it should due to aging. It's because of a long-term period of diabetes, which has caused his blood vessels to not work as they should, the blood flow. He's had heart issues, just so many things around that. And so living with dementia, depression, anxiety, and just an overall cynical view of life,
Yeah.
not moving and those type of things, I see firsthand how a person can maybe live long, but also experience hell during those years.
Mm.
And so that's really what caused me to want to just go deeper into supporting individuals, whether they are 30, whether they're 50, or whether they're turning 60 like myself. In just a few weeks, I'll be turning 60.
All right.
I was feeling like, wait a minute, I feel vibrant. I feel healthy. I don't feel any pain. I'm like, how can I support other individuals with enjoying life like this?
Yeah.
And this is what really drew me to putting something together like this and offering all of the things that I've learned, plus bringing some of my very special coaches and experts into this whole experience so that we can really guide individuals who want to know more about living well, because everybody's not ready. Not everybody will receive what we have to offer, but I recognize there are many who will. And so I wanted to really put it together in a 3-part series that would be guiding them along this path: mind, body, and spirit. And that's the whole thing. It's not just about the physical body, it's about the mindset, and it's definitely about the spiritual understanding and knowing of who you are in your essence, not just this, suit that we wear around.
Right.
Yeah.
So you've got this program that's coming up. I'm pulling it up on the screen now.
Right.
That's coming up. Secrets to Aging Gracefully, Mind, Body, Spirit. That's going to be the first 3 weeks. This is on Saturdays, April 6th, 13th, and 20th, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. And so, I really appreciate you sharing. You kind of shared the contrast between what your experience was growing up, what your experience was as a teenager, seeing people hitting 50, and it was like that was like a button for once you hit this mark, it's prepare for death or deal with almost feeling like you wish you were about to leave, because there are all these aches and pains, body falling apart, and all of these things. And then you also shared as far as your very close and intimate experience with your own dad. And and this is no knock on your dad at all, but you kind of alluded to it. His lifestyle hasn't necessarily been quite what yours has,
right?
And the way that that's shown up in his body indicates that. Although he has, and particularly in your care and with your support, has certainly had probably wouldn't have been around as long as he has had it not been for you and the things that and the things that you've been able to share in support of his well-being. But you've got this secret staging gracefully. I know you said earlier, it's for those who will feel drawn and guided to it. But Versandra, let me tell you, I don't know of a single person on earth who wants to age disgracefully.
Yes.
I don't think that anybody feels a sense of enjoyment in dealing with a lot of aches and pains and what's feeling. There was when I was in my maybe around 20 years old or so, I ended up being exposed. I had a professor who actually ended up sharing with me this poem called Youth. And it talked about like it wasn't basing youth on the number of years that you've accumulated on earth, but it was basing youthfulness or how old you are
Mm-hmm.
by what's going on inside of you. And so you're wanting to address the body, but not
Mm-hmm.
the body. You wanted to address the whole spirit.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one because you and I certainly agree in terms of even what happens with the body,
Yes.
just about what's going on with the body, stress and anxiety and, all of these other things kind of impact, do impact, you know, what goes on with the body too. And
Mm-hmm.
to be able to feel young and to feel youthful and to look youthful. You said you dropped a number earlier, right? You kind of managed to sneak it in there a little bit.
Yeah.
You said that you're gonna be completing what revolution around the sun?
The 60th revolution around the sun. And listen, unlike many women my
Uh,
age, I'm happy to announce it. Some people want to say, oh, I'm still 32 or whatever. I am good with saying my age. And, Royce, I did not want to go into this very deeply, but I think for this, I guess the purpose of context and helping people really see that I'm not talking about something I read in a book,
right.
something that, I looked from a distance and said, ooh, I see this, and not even just with my dad. I'm talking personally. A lot about my life experience, Royce. Some of the things that I've experienced. I don't know if you know that I was literally born in a mental institution right outside of Detroit, out there in Westland. It, was in the 1960s. And so if you put all this together and you can imagine what was happening during that period of time, especially with young African-American women, and women in general, because no woman was really considered to be much of anything except for property during that period of time. We were still working on women's rights and things like that. They weren't even in existence. So just imagine during that period of time and being born into that, and then some of the very traumatic experiences that I've had over and throughout my lifetime. But this is why the mind part is so important to me, because it's the mindset and the mind's ability to really recognize beyond this state of existence, who
Right.
we truly are.
Yeah.
When you make those shifts, then even if you have been kind of broken down by life, which I was broken down by life, with that shift in my mindset, my body began to heal. And so therefore, when I was feeling in my 30s, pain, chronic pain, neck, shoulders, headaches, I thought, Tylenol was my best friend. I thought it was a part of life for a person to have to take Tylenol every single day for pain.
Right.
But what I discovered is that, wait a minute, when you shift your mindset, when you actually recognize who you are, when you do the work to release all the trauma that gets stored inside of your body due to all these traumatic experiences, when you are able to transcend that part of this matrix, then you get to see the reversing of those things, and you get to begin to see your muscles getting stronger. I mean, I had gotten to a point where I'd be walking down the street and trip and fall, just out of balance. And
And you
yoga.
said, Versandra, this was in your 30s.
Yeah, 30s, 40s. I remember sitting at a bus stop one time in downtown Detroit on Woodward Avenue. I don't remember where I was going, but I was waiting on a bus and I got so just out of sorts. I just found myself sliding down. I had enough sense to stand up next to a tree. And I slid down all the way down to the ground so I wouldn't fall down. And the gentleman walked over. He's like, "Are you okay? Are you on medication? Is there something wrong?" I didn't know what was going on. I just knew I was falling apart. But I'm just saying that to say that I was restored. I got my vitality back. I received healing, mind, body, and spirit. And it wasn't just one thing, because transcending the matrix was a huge part of me going back into my childhood and identifying some of those traumatic moments that I literally pressed down. I mean, they were so deep down, I actually didn't know it occurred. After you told me about the things that were happening within me, I had to go to my sister, who we're just a year apart. I'm like, "Hey, do you remember this?" Am I just envisioning this, or maybe I'm out of my mind? But she's like, "No, don't you remember?" But yes, that's kind of what happens. And sometimes we don't remember or recall some of the trauma that is stored inside of this physical vessel. But we do have to address them. We cannot just kind of skim over it. And we can't even some people just think that, the work of God is a magic thing, and they just say, "Oh, I'm just gonna pray and say, God, heal me, and everything is gonna be okay." Because guess what? God is a healer, and God does heal immediately, just like that. But if you go right back to the same exact lifestyle, behaviors, and ways of being that you were before the healing occurred,
Right.
then guess what? You're going to have the same pain, symptoms, and issues that you were feeling before you were healed.
And you know what? I want to say something with respect to that, because what was significant for me in terms of my healing journey, and there were certainly things that I dealt with health wise from the time before I was old enough to scratch myself having chicken pox at like 3 months old.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't want to get too deep right now into some of the health challenges that I used to deal with. But what I can say is, like what you were just saying just now, there's stuff that's going on that we don't know what is the root of it. I had a lot of different health conditions all the time. I never knew what the root of it was. I just knew that medicine wasn't really helping me.
Right.
That was part of my journey. But for a lot of people, the feeling old, feeling run down, even the stuff because there is certainly a mental and emotional component to aging. And outside of things like dementia, like you mentioned earlier, there's a certain way that folk feel about getting older. There's a certain way that people feel about not being able to do the things with their body that they used to be able to do with their body, not having that vitality, not having that necessarily that sense of zest for life. And if they do have the zest for life, don't have the energy to be able to express it.
Yes.
But the things that are actually stealing the energy from us, like the example that you gave before, there was energy that was being sucked out of you.
Yeah.
It's a secret to us what it is. We don't know what it is a lot of times that's zapping the life force out of us. And so you've got this thing coming up. It's on the screen about secrets to aging gracefully. Well, if there are these things that are hidden to us that we don't necessarily even know what's causing the depletion of our life, what's sucking energy out of it, and really a definition that we could say of death is the body running out of energy.
Yeah.
That's
Listen, inner energy, not just energy that we can think of, but I like to say INNERG.
right.
The inner God within us is, basically leaving us.
Yeah,
And
I love that play on words too.
yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So on April 6th, April 13th, April 20th, you're going to be sharing, you and your special experts that you're going to have on are going to be sharing this. While there are these things that have been hidden from us in terms of depleting life and causing us to age in ways that don't feel so graceful, you're going to be sharing with people some of the secrets that you've been privy to.
Yes.
About how people can actually age gracefully, can you say what you said earlier about add
more years to their life and more life to their years.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Add more years to your life and add more life to your years. Yes. And so I really hope that people will take advantage of this. Is there anything specifically about the event that you'd like to share with people to let them know what they have to look forward to?
Yes, I would like to share that, beyond the fact that I'm bringing experts, when I say experts, I'm telling you, they've already been vetted by me and the rest of the world that sees what they do and what they have done. So, we know what Royce is doing. If you watch this show before, then you've probably experienced what he does. So he will definitely be bringing in that spiritual side of this whole aging gracefully thing. But then I have a young lady, my coach, my professional business coach, who is an expert in mindset. We hear these terminologies even in the professional world about, having a growth mindset and the different types of mindset that we can embrace or not even be aware of that we have already embraced. But she will be bringing those things to focus and sharing ways to shift those particular mindsets, because they're not permanent. They're not etched in stone, and no, you are not that. Many times, oh, that's just how I am. I hear that all the time. Well, if that's what you're going to believe, and that's what you're going to keep saying out of your mouth, then it is true. But you can shift that. But then beyond that, I'm talking about the body. I'll be taking you through some yoga practice and things like that. But the bonuses, oh my God, we have bonuses. And it really takes the value of this 3-part series way beyond just what you're going to get, because we're leaving you with some things or giving you some things to take with you that you can use from that day forward. And they include ebooks. They include, I have a virtual digital magazine that has recipes with healthy lifestyle recipes and different things that you can do with your food and your daily regimens. But then we have, oh my God, a virtual sip and scrub. Now, the men that are watching may not really relate to this, although you should. But the sip and scrub is kind of like a spa treatment at home. And the expert who will be sharing in this area is a friend of mine in Detroit, Michigan, Cindy Nunnery. She's actually sending out spa kits to each person that's registered by the end of March, because that's how you save drastically on this. But she's sending you a spa kit that you can use while we're having this virtual party. And she asks that you bring your favorite beverage, water or juice or whatever that might be. And you take your spa kit, and we will be doing a cleanse, moisturizing and toning of our skin, and you'll be able to see your skin become vibrant again. People ask me, how does your skin look so clear and everything? You have no blemishes. Do you wear a lot of makeup? people ask me those things all the time, but I engage in skincare, and this is what we'll be sharing with you, because this young lady, we've been working together probably for about 15 years. And, I know it works because this is how I live my life. But these bonuses will definitely carry over beyond the 3 sessions and the bonus session, which makes it 4. It will carry on into the rest of your life if you want to embrace some of these various things that we share with you, so that you too can experience the vibrancy and the joy of living longer. Oh yeah, I want to say this. Oh my God, because I got some statistics for you too.
Okay.
I learned that it is shown that the people that are aging right now in the United States is longer. People over 65 are living longer. However, the cost of this living longer is about $47,000 a year.
Wow.
Now you got to get this. 47, many people don't make $47,000 a year on their job. You know what I'm saying? All year long, their earnings do not come to that amount. So imagine costing $47,000 for you to live each year due to chronic illness, disease, and once it gets, it like snowballs over time, because once you feel or know that you're diagnosed with high blood pressure, we know that it doesn't end there. It turns into, diabetes. You end up having multiple things in your liver and your kidneys, and start to get worn out. They are depleted. This whole idea of cancer, we can go into that and do a whole session of what cancer is, but cancer shows up a lot in people during this period of time. And so these are the things that end up costing you. And if you believe that you can get away with living your life as you've been living it and not making any changes and not wanting to invest in your well-being today, you may be sadly mistaken. I can say that, because the cost on the back end can be so much more than any investment you can make in your personal well-being, which spills over into your professional well-being, your relationship well-being, every part of your life. This spills over into it, because if you're not feeling well, there's no way you can treat someone else well. There's no way you can experience life as it truly is, abundant and prosperous and healthy and all those things. You just can't experience those things when you are sick or experiencing disease. So those are the things that I'm really excited about sharing with our audience and those individuals who see the value of this right now. And I'm just going to say, if you don't even see that this is for you, this is definitely an opportunity for you to share it with maybe your family members, people who you see that are experiencing this aging process in a negative way, and show them that they too can make some changes.
Yeah. And, and I'll be very forthright in sharing. Most of the people who come here aren't people who are in their teens and 20s who are checking this out. The folk who are checking this out are people who I feel like can relate to the idea that are more aware of a sense of time and the effects on the body.
Yes.
Most folks, who come and check this out have seasoned and marinated in life for a little bit. And so, I don't see any reason why anybody who would be checking this out wouldn't want to take advantage of this. And, again, it's going to be April 6th, 13th, and 20th. Is there a time for this event?
Yes. Yes. Each of these sessions will last from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Mhm.
So when you register, you will get the Zoom link, and then it'll have the times and everything on there, and the ability for you to get a recording of the sessions, each of
Oh,
them,
wow.
just in case you are unable to make it to one or the other. You know, some things happen in life, and you may have signed up for this 4-part series with the bonus, and you find that, hey, the job says I've got to work overtime and you're going to miss it. No, you will not miss it, because you will still be able to get the replay and experience all that we are sharing in the comforts of your own home. So
Yeah.
that's what I love about it too.
And I'll share this with you, Versandra, that even for people who can attend all 3 sessions, I know for sessions that I have, there are people who ask me all the time, are they recorded? And I don't record them.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's an all day kind of thing. Yours is
Right.
is an hour and a half, so it's not taking too much time out of a person's
Right.
schedule. My thing that I'm doing is a whole 3-day weekend.
Yes. Yes.
It's not practical to record all of that.
No, but it's so worth it. I'm trying to tell you that
Yeah,
3-day weekend.
What I'm getting at is that people often wish that they had a recording who are there. So
Yeah.
even people who might be there for all 3 sessions might be fully present the entirety of the time. And again, it's just an hour and a half. Hopefully people can make that. And it's on a Saturday and in the evening,
Yes.
depending on what time zone you're in.
Mhm.
So it's not something that's going to eat out a lot of time, but it's for people. Not everybody is necessarily going to not everybody is going to necessarily have the gift of accumulating a lot of years.
Right.
But I don't know too many people who, even people like me who identify with the stars.
Right.
And it feels weird being on this planet because it just feels a little weird there.
You know, you're in this well, you're here, but you're not of this place. I get that.
Yeah. But like even I and other people who can relate to that, we're not in a hurry to leave the planet. I don't know too many people who are wanting to my late grandmother used to say, getting old isn't a problem, it's just a little inconvenient. And I've heard other people say, it's better than the option. But if we're blessed to live a certain number of years, why not let those years be years where we can feel good in our body, feel good in our minds, feel good in our spirit, feel vibrant. And that thing that you said about adding more years to our life and adding more life to our years, I love that. And I may borrow it.
Hey, it's not mine originally. I heard it somewhere, but it's definitely something that stuck with me, and I feel it's definitely relevant to what we're talking about for sure.
And so, you've got this this event that's coming up, Secrets to Aging Gracefully, Mind, Body, and Spirit. Probably should have taken down the banner so that people could see the whole thing a little bit more clearly. I really hope that people will take advantage of it. Again, to register, they can go to your website at optimallivingretreats.com. But I really hope that people would. This is what I hope, Versandra. If I can just be real candid, I hope that people will love themselves enough.
Yes.
Because that really is what it boils down to.
Absolutely.
That's really what it boils down to. Is I hope that people will love themselves and I don't know if you wanted to talk about the price of it or anything like that, but I hope that people will love themselves enough to say, you know what, I'm going to invest this time to be here. I'm going to invest this um, this little bit of money, to be here, because I really do want to be able to enjoy um, a life where I'm feeling vibrant and I'm feeling, I'm not having to deal with all of these aches and pains, and I'm, able to do some things. For a lot of people, they spend their best years working
Right.
for somebody else. And then when they have the time from retirement, they don't always necessarily have the energy to do some of the things they might like to do, travel and, do some fun things. And I you're the same way. I want to see people, enjoying life to the fullest and feeling good in their bodies, feeling good in their life as a whole. And this thing that you have, the secrets to aging gracefully, mind, body, and spirit. The truth of the matter is, if everybody, I mentioned my grandmother, her husband, my grandfather, my maternal grandfather, he was very handy. Okay. He used to, I remember him getting under the car and doing stuff to fix his car. He used to change his own oil and stuff. And one of the things that I remember that he used to say is that it's always good to have the right tool for the job. There's some tools that you can use and kind of get by, and but it makes the process longer. It doesn't make the process flow nearly as smooth. And what it is that you're giving people is tools.
Right.
You're giving people tools to be able to age gracefully and add years to their life and life to their years. And again, I can't think of anybody. I can't think of anybody who consciously wants to look old or feel old.
Right.
Now it is a thing that young people in their teens and 20s are dyeing their hair gray. I'm not sure exactly what that's about. But the folk who've actually grown gray hair, they're not trying to look old.
Right.
And that's men and women.
Absolutely.
We all want to look young. We all want to feel young and feel vibrant. So I really hope that people will take advantage of this an hour and a half, 3 Saturdays in April. That's not a lot of time, but they're going to be getting a whole lot, and even
absolutely,
even bonuses.
Yes, yes,
can't beat that with a bet.
You definitely can't. And I can say, we have really discounted it for those people that are choosing to do this early. And I'm hoping most people will, but this is definitely valued at well over $600, what we are offering. And, just for this limited time, the next couple of weeks, we are offering it for $180. Now,
what? Hold on, Versandra. It's $180.
Yes, that's for everything.
Is that for each session or all 3 total?
That is for all 3, plus the bonus sip and scrub and the bonuses that you will take with you, the ebooks and the magazine and the recipes and all of those things that you will take with you. And, it just goes to show how, I guess, eager I am to get this information into the lives of as many people as possible, really. Because it saddens me to see people that believe that this is just how it is. It's just, this is just how life is. It's just no getting better. It's nothing else I could do. The doctor said, they want to say the man or the woman with the white coat said. So they get that thought in their mind and believe it to be true. So I really want this to be in the hands of as many people as possible. But the other thing is that it is my birthday celebration. I like to give gifts on my birthday.
Gift that you're giving for your birthday. Look at that. How cool is that? And so I'm going to put it this way too. I a couple years ago had a milestone birthday of 50 in 2021. Right. And there is something significant about those milestone birthdays.
Yes.
It's a milestone. It's a milestone birthday. Yeah. I'm going to put this out there. I know and I understand your heart. I've always known you to be a person who's a giver, regardless of what it is that you have. I want to encourage people to kind of double gift, if you will, because I know that you're not necessarily doing it from this place, but I'll say it. It's your birthday. I want people to invest in $60 a session in the next week or two that this promotion is going on. And maybe gift somebody to get registered themselves, but maybe to gift somebody else with it too.
Yes.
Yeah, because, I love win-win situations.
Yes.
And, I want people to bless you for your birthday. And I want them to be blessed, by what it is that they'll be getting from this whole experience and being able to lay hold to these tools that you'll be sharing and grasp hold of these secrets to aging gracefully, mind, body, and spirit. So anything you want to say in closing?
In closing, I could just say that I kind of see this, I know they talk about a fountain of youth. I've heard that, over my years of living that, there's this place where you can jump in the water and you can become youthful again. But I really see this as an anti-aging experience, and it's not about going back, but it's about stopping where you are right now and causing the aging process to either slow down or just, stop. So that's kind of what I see as anti-aging. It's not like you can go back and get those years back, but you definitely can halt the constant, fast movement of the next years that you are going to be moving into. And so that's really all I want to share. I'm eager to, share all that I know. And I'm also eager to introduce my very special guests and experts to individuals that may have never met them before or learned anything about how they are working in this world, doing amazing things. And that's really, a gift all in itself, sharing your resources and your experts that have helped you. Many people are not willing to do that. They're like, I got mine, you get yours. I've heard that so many times in my life, and I don't take that approach. I want you to have what I have experienced and gain the benefits from them as well.
Absolutely. I just love your heart, Versandra, and I really appreciate the blessing of knowing you. And I hope that people will, like I said earlier, love themselves enough to engage in this. Let me pull it back up on the screen again.
Yes.
The secrets to aging gracefully, mind, body, spirit.
Yes.
I love that, and I really hope that, like I said, that people will avail themselves of the opportunity. I believe that it'll be a blessing to everyone who ends up registering. Again, you can register. Go to www.optimallivingretreats.com. It's been scrolling on the bottom of the screen for the last 45 minutes or so. So hopefully you've seen that, and I'm just excited about it. I'm blown away at the. I'm just gonna say this to anybody who's any of who are the people who've normally been on for my thing. I think he's charging too little. What it is that people are getting $60 a session. Two people go out and grab dinner, and that's going to be more than $60.
Yeah.
The chance, for the most part, you go and you can't get an hour massage probably for
no, not at all.
$dollars, from at Massage Envy or somebody who isn't pouring all the stuff that I spoke to earlier that Versandra does. And when I've seen her, when I saw her working for that first time years ago. But again, I love you all. I want the absolute best for you. As we endeavor to enter into this sustainable state of supreme satisfaction, I certainly wish you the best, and know that you're worthy of love. So often we want love, and that's an understandable thing. We were made in love, and
for sure.
Yeah, and we were designed to love and to be loved. And a lot of times, we look for love. We look for love on the outside. But I'm gonna share a little secret with you. It's hard to expect somebody else to love you if you don't love yourself. Okay, because that's the energy that you're giving out. And so, love you. In order to love your neighbors, you love yourself. You got to love you in order to do that. And you're worthy of love, regardless of what it is that you've been through in life. I've certainly been through some things in life. Versandra has certainly been through some things in life. Yes. No matter what mistakes you've made, or what things have happened to you, or what things people might have told you, or whatever your life circumstances were, or who didn't show up for you, you're worthy of love. And I want to encourage you to show up for you. And this is just a way. That's why I wanted to have Versandra on, because this is a way that you can do that. And I believe that it will be a valuable way that you can do that doesn't take a lot of your time, or even a lot of your money. But I do believe it's worth the investment of your time and attention. Yeah. So with that said, bid you adieu. Look forward to seeing you next time. And until then, forth with peace and love.
Namaste.